Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern Ned Reynolds in the studio on a Wednesday morning. I always hate it when we got to start off with bad news, but, you know, he had a great life. From what I know, really good guy. Did you have any personal experiences with Whitey?
Many.
I would assume you did. So give me one. So that's how we got to remember this guy.
Well,
you know?
he was down here in the Ozarks on many, many, many occasions. In fact, even more than most people knew, because the man absolutely loved fishing, and his close buddy Jerry Lumpy lived down here, and the two of them went unbeknownst to anybody, which was fine. That's what they wanted. He was down here all the time, and then by invitation, he came down here to be a part of banquets and speeches and so forth. The man was a gifted speaker and very, very funny. Just a great wit about him. Now, in all honesty, the wit was a bit off color, but hey, come on, he's Whitey Herzog. He was able to get away with that. But the man, and this is how I feel badly about it, because he was baseball in Missouri and in other parts of the country. One of the most renowned, studious baseball experts ever, regarded by many as the best talent scout ever. He saw in the Cardinals when he took them over after piloting the Kansas City Royals. In 1980, he saw a guy out at shortstop named Gary Templeton, and he said, the guy can play, but he doesn't fit my scheme. And then when Templeton walked off the field to the boos of the crowd one day after making an error and made the very famous gesture to the fans, and it's famous, no, it's infamous, Whitey said, you're gone. They brought in a guy named Ozzie Smith to take over. That's the kind of talent eye that Whitey had. Cardinals, they were in the playoff hunt virtually every year, 3 World Series during that time, won the 1982. The man was just a genuine individual. He was extremely funny. And indeed, he was a captivating person who got your attention when he talked. He just was a brilliant guy, and now he's leaving us at the age of 92. But, Mike, you make a very good concept. How can you feel badly when the man lived the life that he wanted to, and it was a great life? He loved fishing, he loved baseball, he loved his family, and he was around them. Guy was from New Athens, Illinois, out by St. Louis on the other side, but down here much of the time. And that's, I think, why it hits home so greatly. But Whitey was 92 years old. He was doing somersaults on TV as recently as 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
He was quite a guy.
Yeah, he was. They don't make him like that anymore. And thanks for what you brought us, Whitey. Another baseball standout from the past also left us yesterday.
He did. Carl Erskine of the Brooklyn Dodgers. And this, Mike, I'm going to get on my soapbox and rant a little bit. Sports announcers across the country, inclusive of some here, make reference to the boys of summer as everybody who plays baseball. He's one of the boys of summer. That's so false. The Boys of Summer, folks, by Roger Kahn, the novel, was about a team, and that team was the Brooklyn Dodgers of the late 1940s and 1950s. They were a unit. They beat everybody. They were the National League champs year in and year out, and just a very renowned team because they were in a borough in New York City. They were in Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Dodgers, Boys of Summer, that's who they were. The last of them was Carl Erskine. He was the final member of the Boys of Summer teams, and he passed yesterday at the age of 97. Had him on the air during my time here many times. Genuine individual, was, after retirement, the baseball coach at Anderson University over in Indiana, from which he graduated. And just a really good person and a man who had civil rights very much at the top of his agenda in dealing with the public. That's a big loss. Carl Erskine, he's also one of the few remaining Brooklyn Dodgers to move with the team to Los Angeles in the late 1950s.
I know you're on your soapbox, but I'm just going to let you know you're both wrong. The Boys of Summer is a song by Don Henley. What the play-in rounds last night in the NBA? Who got the win?
Well, there were 2 of them. Los Angeles Lakers are now into the field of 8. They won their game with the New Orleans Pelicans, 110-106. Great game it was, but the Lakers won it. So the Lakers because they were seeded 7th. They go into the field of 8 now, and the Pelicans get a chance to play again. In the other game, the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors, Sacramento wins at 118-94, and Golden State is done. They're out. They've been eliminated. So there are 3 teams who make it from yesterday. The Pelicans will now play the Kings on Friday night, and the survivor of that one goes on. Now, there are 2 games in the Eastern Conference tonight. 76ers and the Miami Heat, and the Atlanta Hawks and the Chicago Bulls play. And in that one, you'll have the same formula. The 7-8 team, well, both those teams will get a chance to play again, but 9 and 10, one of them is out, the loser.
So did the Springfield Cardinals remain hot? Are they 10 in a row now?
No, they are not.
Ah, Ned.
The streak came to an end in Amarillo, Texas last night. The Amarillo Sod Poodles, actually a pretty close game. It was 10-8 at one time, and then the Amarillo Ball Club pulled away with 3 runs in the 8th inning and win it by a score of 13-9. Pretty high-scoring game, but that happens in West Texas quite a bit when that wind is blowing out. Anyway, the winning streak does come to an end. You knew it would. You can't possibly go... Well, I guess possibly you could go undefeated, 139, 140-0, but the chances of that happening aren't very good. That does not take away any from the Springfield Cardinals team. They had an early 2-0 lead in this game. Pitching wasn't quite up to what it should have been. Max Rajic got the start last night, and he took the loss. And Rajic is one of the Cardinals' high prospects in Double-A. But end of the winning streak, but there'll be more. This Springfield team is entirely too good.
What about the Big Birds? How'd they do?
They had Lance Lynn on the hill last night, and Lance Lynn, who of course was a Springfield Cardinal in his early going, out of Ole Miss, and has been around in big league baseball for a number of years. He's 37 years old. Pitched very well, and he gets the win. The Cardinals nudged the Oakland A's 3-2. Both teams had the same number of hits. The Oakland Ball Club is really not together, and when you take a look at their lineup, these are young kids who are trying to make it. The team has been rebuilt. They don't have a whole lot of money. This is their last year in Oakland, as everybody knows. They're moving to Las Vegas, but not right away. They'll go to Sacramento before that. Nonetheless, the Cardinals get the win 3-2, and they will conclude that series this afternoon. Royals and the White Sox were rained out last night in Chicago.
Bears had a tough hombre in the Mizzou Tigers on the field yesterday. Are they looking any better?
No, they're not. Missouri gets the win by a score of 6-2. The Missouri team is not all that bad. They don't have this sounds like a paradox. They don't have a whole lot of offense, but they did last night, had enough to win 6-2. And the Bears were supposed to be the offensive juggernaut. However, Missouri's pitching is pretty good, and their pitching shut down the Bears last night. Still, it's a work in progress with Missouri State. They're trying to get together for the Missouri Valley Conference playoffs, which are coming up in a couple of weeks over in Evansville. And from there, the winner of that one goes to the NCAA tournament. Bears have to win it. That's the only way they're going to get in. And I think Coach Gutton and his staff are working to bring that team together and have them formulated into a pretty good ball club. But we'll see. Last night, Missouri wins 6-2. The Tigers and the Bears will play again next week.
Ned, you enjoy a really nice day in the Ozarks, and I will see you tomorrow.